make sense of yesterday's sell-off? Just a blip, you think, in an uptrending market?
Yeah, I view this as a blip. I think also it just speaks to some fears with the Georgia runoff. If that ultimately was a Democratic sweep and a blue wave, that would be negative for big tech. And I think that added to some of the, jitters that we saw today. But I view this as a blip. I believe that tech stocks are up another 25% over the next year. The secular drivers across big tech, cloud, cybersecurity, transformational. I think we're going into a golden age of re-rating, and we continue to view this as a bright green light to own tech, and we be buyers in any sort of weakness.
Right. How are you looking at the story on increasing regulation of big tech, and how impactful could that be for investor sentiment, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, look, right now that's viewed as a contained risk, and I think more fines rather than business model changes. But it's also why right now you have a Goldilocks scenario with a Biden presidency and a red Senate. If that changes, then it does change potentially the landscape in terms of legislative changes. I think it's more headline risk at this point in terms of big tech. And I think investors right now view it as more background noise, although it's a clear and present danger for big tech, not just in the US, but in the EU, that's starting to get some sharper teeth in terms of focus going after the likes of Google, Facebook, and others.
Dana, hi, this is Christine. I mean, some of the sell-offs we're seeing on the screen right there. Are you looking to take some money off the table and perhaps go back in? How will you play the techs from here?
Yeah, I think ultimately we're going to have a very strong results going into January. And I think year-end guidance could be conservative. You could continue to see this volatility. And I think any investors that have had massive gains, I think you're seeing it across many institutional investors, they're taking some off the table. But I think forest through the trees, tech's up another 25% plus. That's why, to me, in terms of the secular growth stories across cloud, names like Microsoft, DocuSign, you look at cybersecurity, I think that's going to be a massive area of spend. And our favorite name continues to be Apple in terms of the super cycle and everything we're seeing. I think that's going to blow away street numbers as they report results in late January.
So you're a bull on tech. How much of this bullishness is due to the fact that the pandemic has drastically or permanently changed the way people and businesses work and operate?
It's a huge part. You think about names like Zoom, the average consumer didn't know what Zoom was, go back to March. Today, it's almost become as important for some as food and water. And that's why I think if you look at tech, this has accelerated a lot of these tech growth stories by 1 to 2 years. And especially when it comes to cloud. And I think as we get on the other side, vaccine gets deployed, you're of course going to have some sort of moderation of work from home. But if you look at e-commerce, you look at cloud, you look at cybersecurity, I think really the ship sailed. I think this is just the start of what's going to be a massive build out, $1 trillion market over the next decade.